Hello dear students, good morning. I have concluded my part A of lecture 7 with a note that I have discussed some tricks to remember whatever we have discussed in part A. So here you can see the fundamental mode, that is the first harmonic. We have half a loop. The distance between the node and antinode, adjacent node and antinode is 1 by 4 times lambda. Here lambda represents the wavelength and n represents the frequency of the wave in case of the fundamental mode. So here length of the air column is lambda by 4 and the fundamental frequency is n, which is also called as the first harmonic. Now in the next mode of vibration, the same length of the air column is made to vibrate so as to produce one complete loop and one half loop. Or we can say that here we have three half loops. This is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. So N1 is the frequency and lambda 1 is the wavelength in this case. So N1 will be 3 times the fundamental frequency, as here we have 3 half loops. Now the distance between this node and adjacent antinode is lambda 1 by 4 and here we have 3 half loops. So the length of the air column will be 3 times lambda 1 by 4. Here N1 is the first overtone or third harmonic. In the next higher mode of vibration, the same air column is made to vibrate so as to produce 2 complete loops and 1 half loop, or we can say here we have 5 number of half loops, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Here N2 represents the frequency and lambda 2 represents the wavelength of the wave in this mode of vibration. So here N2 is 5 times the fundamental frequency. Again the distance between adjacent node and antinode is lambda 2 by 4 and as here we have 5 half loops, the length of the air column will be 5 times lambda 2 by 4. Here N2 is the second overtone or fifth harmonic. So if n is the fundamental frequency, the next mode has frequency thrice n because it has 3 half loops and the next higher mode has frequency 5n because it has 5 half loops. So the next higher mode will contain 7 number of half loops, so its frequency will be 7n and in that case the length of the air column will be 7 times lambda 3 by 4 where lambda 3 will be the wavelength and n3 will be the frequency in that case. Isn't it interesting? In case of a pipe which is open at both the ends in fundamental mode, as we have discussed earlier, we have 2 antinodes at the open ends and we get a pair of half loops here. N is the frequency and lambda is the wavelength of the wave in this fundamental mode, and n is also called as the fundamental frequency or the first harmonic. The distance between any two consecutive antinodes is half the wavelength, so length of the air column is lambda by 2. In the next mode of vibration, the same air column vibrates such that one complete loop and 2 half loops are produced at the ends. Or we can say that here we have 2 pairs of half loops. This is first pair and this is second pair. So if N1 is the frequency, it will be twice the fundamental frequency, as here we have 2 pairs of half loop. If lambda 1 is the wavelength, then the distance between these two consecutive antinodes will be lambda 1 by 2. And as here we have 2 pairs of consecutive antinodes, the length of the air column will be twice lambda 1 by 2, or that is equal to lambda 1. Here N1 is called as the first overtone or second harmonic. In the next higher mode, the same length of the air column vibrates so as to produce 2 complete loops and 2 half loops at the ends, or we can say that here we have 3 pairs of half loops, first pair, second pair and third pair. So if N2 is the frequency in this case, it will be thrice the fundamental frequency, that is 3 times n, as we have 3 pairs of half loops. If lambda 2 is the wavelength in this case, the distance between these two consecutive antinodes will be lambda 2 by 2. And as here we have 3 pairs of consecutive antinodes, the length of the air column will be 3 times lambda 2 by 2. Here N2 is the second overtone or third harmonic. So in this way, if you consider the next higher mode, in that mode we will have 4 pairs of half loops. So in that case, if N3 is the frequency, it will be 4 times the fundamental frequency. If lambda 3 is the wavelength, then the length of the air column will be 4 times lambda 3 by 2, or that will be equal to twice lambda 3. Isn't it easy to remember in this manner? Let us have the comparative study and revision of whatever we have discussed about the modes of vibrations of the air column. Now, in case of a pipe which is closed at one end, only odd harmonics are present, that is first, third, fifth, seventh and so on. Whereas in case of a pipe which is open at both the ends, odd and even, that is all harmonics are present. Here, as you go from the fundamental mode to the next higher mode, the frequency changes from n, 3n, 5n and so on. So the ratio of the harmonics is 1 is to 3 is to 5 and so on. Whereas here, as you go from the fundamental mode to higher modes, the frequency changes from n, 2n, 3n and so on. So the ratio of the harmonics here is 1 is to 2 is to 3 and so on. In case of a pipe which is closed at one end, the pth overtone is equal to twice p plus 1th harmonic. And here we have pth overtone is equal to p plus 1th harmonic. So here the third harmonic is equal to first overtone. Fifth harmonic is equal to second overtone. Seventh harmonic is equal to third overtone. So here the ratio of overtones is 3 is to 5 is to 7 and so on. Here the second harmonic is equal to first overtone, third harmonic is equal to second overtone, fourth harmonic is equal to third overtone. So here the ratio of overtones is 2 is to 3 is to 4 and so on. In case of a pipe which is closed at one end, the maximum possible wavelength is 4 times L, and it is in case of fundamental mode, and we have already seen that the wavelength goes on decreasing for higher modes of vibration. Whereas in case of pipe open at both ends, the maximum possible wavelength is twice L. Again, it is in case of fundamental mode, and for further modes, the wavelength goes on decreasing. The general formula for wavelength and frequency here is lambda is equal to 4 times capital L divided by twice n minus 1, where n is 1, 2, 3 and so on, and it is the order of mode of vibration. So if you put n is equal to 1, it will be the first mode. For second mode, n is equal to 2 and so on. The frequency small n is equal to twice n minus 1 in bracket multiplied by V divided by 4 times L. Here it should be capital N. By mistake I have written small n there, so some overwriting is there. It is capital N. Again, n is the order of mode of vibration. The general formula for wavelength and frequency in this case is lambda is equal to twice L by n. Again, n is the order of mode of vibration here, and small n, that is the frequency, is capital N into V divided by twice L. So here you can see this n is twice n minus 1 into V by 4L, and here this n is n into V by twice L. So this frequency in case of the fundamental frequency in case of pipe open at both ends is twice the fundamental frequency in case of pipe closed at one end. For a pipe closed at one end, the boundary conditions are such that node is always there at the closed end. So position of nodes from closed end is x is equal to 0, lambda by 2, lambda, 3 lambda by 2 and so on. The distance between any two consecutive nodes is lambda by 2, as you can see it here. For a pipe open at both ends, position of nodes from one end is x is equal to lambda by 4, 3 lambda by 4, 5 lambda by 4 and so on. So again the distance between two consecutive nodes here is lambda by 2. Position of antinodes from closed end is x is equal to lambda by 4, 3 lambda by 4, 5 lambda by 4 and so on. Because here the nodes are formed at closed end. Node and antinodes are alternately formed. So if the node is formed at 0, antinode is formed at lambda by 4. The next node is lambda by 2. The next position of antinode is 3 lambda by 4 and so on. Here, in case of pipe open at both ends, the boundary conditions are such that the antinodes are formed at both the open ends. So here the position of antinodes from one end is x is equal to 0, lambda by 2, lambda, 3 lambda by 2 and so on. The distance between two consecutive antinodes is lambda by 2. Now as here again nodes and antinodes are alternately formed. If the antinode is formed at the end, the position of the adjacent nodes is lambda by 4. Then the next antinode is at lambda by 2. The next adjacent node is at 3 lambda by 4 and so on. If you observe it carefully, as nodes are formed at the end here and antinodes are formed at the end here, the position of nodes from the closed end and the position of antinodes from the open end here are same. And here the position of nodes from one end and the position of antinodes from the closed end are same. The tabular form gives you the information at a glance. So let us consider the information about the sound produced by pipe open at both ends at one end. Here the first column represents the frequency. N is the fundamental frequency. So in case of pipe open at both ends, it represents the first harmonic, and the same in case of the pipe open at one end, it represents the first harmonic. Twice N is the second harmonic and the first overtone. In case of pipe open at one end, the second harmonic is absent. 3n represents the third harmonic in both the cases, but in this case it represents the second overtone and here it represents the first overtone. 4n represents the fourth harmonic and third overtone in pipe open at both ends, whereas the fourth harmonic is absent in this case. 5n represents the fifth harmonic in both the cases. Here it represents the fourth overtone, but here it represents the second overtone. So for overtones, in case of pipe open at both ends, the first overtone has a frequency N1 which is equal to 2n, N2 is equal to 3n, N3 is equal to 4n. So in general, NP, that is pth overtone, has a frequency NP is equal to P plus 1 times N. In case of a pipe open at one end, the first overtone has a frequency 3n. So N1 is equal to 3n, N2 is equal to 5n, N3 is equal to 7n. So in general, the pth overtone has a frequency NP is equal to twice P plus 1 times N, where P is equal to 1, 2 and 3 as it represents the first overtone, second overtone, third overtone and so on. Now, whatever I'm going to discuss in this slide is just an imagination. It doesn't happen like this. This is just an imagination so as to remember which harmonics are present in which type of pipe, and that's all. Now, in case of this pipe which is open at both the ends, just imagine that the odd harmonics are entering the pipe from the upper open end and even harmonics are entering the pipe from the lower open end. So as both the ends are open, all harmonics can enter the pipe. See, N, that is the fundamental frequency, is already there. Twice N from the lower end, thrice N from the upper end, 4N from the lower end, 5N from the upper end and so on. So all the harmonics have entry in this pipe. But in case of a pipe which is closed at one end, as odd harmonics are entering the pipe from the upper open end, they have an entry in it. So N, 3, N, 5, N, 7, N, 9, N and so on. But all the even harmonics are entering the pipe from the lower end which is closed here. So how can you enter if the door is closed? So the even harmonics 2n, 4n, 6n, 8n and so on doesn't have entry in it, and so they are absent in case of a pipe closed at one end. So the pipe which is open at one end, इसमें सबका स्वागत है और यहाँ पर even harmonics cannot enter. So here the quality of sound produced is richer and sweetness is more, whereas here the sweetness is comparatively less than in case of pipe open at both the ends. Now let us go back to the textbook part. We know that the velocity of sound is equal to n lambda. V is equal to n lambda, where n is the frequency and lambda is the wavelength of a wave in that particular mode of vibration of air column. Now using the formula and knowing the values of small n, small l, that is length of the pipe, and end correction, velocity of sound in air at room temperature can be calculated. Now as we have discussed earlier, that we know that the antinodes are formed little beyond the open ends of the pipe, and it is not possible to locate the exact positions of the antinodes. So therefore, in experiments, the length of the pipe is measured, that is small l is measured, and the end correction is calculated. So let us discuss the experimental method to find out or to calculate the end correction. For the practical determination of end correction, we consider two pipes of same diameter but different lengths L1 and L2. See here, it should be correction. By mistake, connection is printed here. Now let us discuss it for pipe open at both ends. We know that in case of a pipe open at both ends, the maximum possible wavelength is twice L in fundamental mode. Let N1 be the frequency and lambda 1 be the wavelength in case of first pipe. And let N2 be the frequency and lambda 2 be the wavelength in case of second pipe. Now as V is equal to N lambda, we can write V is equal to twice N1 L1, which is equal to twice N2 L2. 2 gets cancelled here and we get N1 L1 is equal to N2 L2. Now substitute the value of corrected length. So N1 into bracket small l1 plus 2e is equal to N2 into bracket small l2 plus 2e. We'll solve the bracket. We get N1 L1 plus 2 times N1 into E is equal to N2 L2 plus 2 times N2 into E. Now we'll take the terms in E to one side. So take this term to LHS and this term to RHS. We get twice N1E minus twice N2E is equal to N2 L2 minus N1 L1. Taking this 2e common, we get twice E into bracket N1 minus N2 is equal to N2 L2 minus N1 L1. Therefore, E, that is the end correction, is equal to N2 L2 minus N1 L1 divided by 2 into bracket N1 minus N2. Now instead of taking this term to LHS, if you take this term to RHS and this term to LHS, we get this E is equal to N1 L1 minus N2 L2 divided by 2 into bracket N2 minus N1. Now in case of a pipe which is closed at one end, we know that the maximum possible wavelength is lambda is equal to 4 times L in case of fundamental mode. So V is equal to N lambda, so we can write V is equal to 4 times N1 L1, which is equal to 4 times N2 L2. 4 gets cancelled here, so we have N1 L1 is equal to N2 L2. Substituting the values of corrected lengths in terms of small l and e, we get N1 into bracket L1 plus E is equal to N2 into bracket L2 plus E. Solving this, we get N1 L1 plus N1 E is equal to N2 L2 plus N2 E. Taking this term to LHS and this term to RHS, we get N1 E minus N2 E is equal to N2 L2 minus N1 L1. Take E common here. We get E into bracket N1 minus N2, which is equal to N2 L2 minus N1 L1. Therefore, E, that is the end correction, is equal to N2 L2 minus N1 L1 divided by N1 minus N2. Now, instead of taking this term to LHS, if you take this term to RHS and this term to LHS, we'll get E is equal to N1 L1 minus N2 L2 divided by N2 minus N1. Now, if you observe these two end corrections carefully, the end correction in case of a pipe open at both ends is E is equal to N2 L2 minus N1 L1 divided by 2 into N1 minus N2, and here the end correction is N2 L2 minus N1 L1 divided by N1 minus N2. This is the difference between these two. But there are some limitations of end correction. The inner diameter of the tube must be uniform throughout its length. When we consider the end correction, the effect of flow of air outside the tube is to be neglected. Also, the effect of temperature of air outside is to be neglected. And the tip of the prong of the vibrating tuning fork must be held horizontally, that is perpendicular to the tube at the center and at a small distance above the open end of the tube. So there is a method for the elimination of this end correction. That is, without considering the end correction, how can we find out the velocity of sound and the length correctly? So let us discuss it. See, it is not there in your textbook, but I think that you must know it. So let us discuss it. Before discussing the elimination of end correction, let us get introduced with the resonance tube. Now, what is a resonance tube? The resonance tube consists of a long and uniform tube which is open at both the ends. Now, when this tube is immersed in water, its water will rise through this open end and it will be closed at one end by water. So the part of the tube above the surface of water contains an air column. Now by raising or lowering the tube, the length of the air column inside the tube can be changed. If a vibrating tuning fork is held near the open end of the tube. Now this tuning fork is held such that the vibrations of the tuning fork are in this direction, that is the prongs bend inward and outward. So the tuning fork vibrates in this direction, so it sends sound waves which are longitudinal in nature. So the sound waves travel through the air column, they are reflected from the closed end, and the interference of the two waves gives rise to the stationary waves. So as you can see here, the stationary waves are formed inside the air column or inside the tube. Thus, the part of the resonance tube above the surface of water, see this is the part of the tube above the surface of water, acts as a pipe which is closed at one end. Now starting from the small length of this pipe or the air column, if its length is gradually increased by raising the resonance tube, a stage is reached when the natural frequency of vibration of the air column becomes exactly equal to the frequency of vibration of the tuning fork. And we know that when the natural frequency of vibration of the body matches with the driving frequency, resonance occurs. So here the same case is there, resonance occur here, and the air column starts vibrating with maximum amplitude and a loud sound is heard. At resonance, as you can see here, a node is formed at the closed end and antinode is formed near the open end. We know that the antinode doesn't form exactly at the open end but some distance above that. The length L of the air column, this is the length L of the air column, which is equal to small l, which represents the length of the tube from the closed end to the open end, plus the end correction. So L is called as the resonating length or the length of the air column. Now we'll discuss the elimination of end correction. By taking an additional reading, the necessity of finding the end correction can be eliminated. Now just now we have discussed how resonance occurs. Now in this case of a pipe which is closed at one end, this is the fundamental mode of vibration. This capital L represents the resonating length or the corrected length of the air column. Small l represents the length of the pipe from closed end to the open end, and E represents the end correction. The distance between the consecutive or the adjacent node and antinode is lambda by 4. So this L, that is the resonating length, is equal to lambda by 4. After finding out the first resonance or first resonating length, the pipe is raised further till the second resonance occurs. The sound in this case is not as loud as that in first case, but it is loud enough to be clearly heard. Now if you observe it carefully, you will find that this is the next mode of vibration of air column in case of a pipe which is closed at one end. The manner in which the air column vibrate in case of first resonance and second resonance is shown here. So here capital L1 represents the resonating length or correct length of the air column. Small L1 represents the length of the pipe from closed end to the open end, and E represents the end correction. Now we have already discussed that in case of this mode of vibration, L1, that is length of the air column, is 3 by 4 times the wavelength. So here capital L1 is 3 by 4 times lambda. Now we can write this L as lambda by 4, which is also equal to small l plus E. Now E is the end correction, which is given by 0.3 times D, that is D is the inner diameter of the tube. So which is equal to L plus 0.3 times D. L1, which is equal to 3 by 4 times lambda, is equal to L1 plus E. That is small l1 plus E, which is equal to small l1 plus 0.3 times D. If you subtract L from L1, we'll get 3 by 4 times lambda minus lambda by 4, which is equal to lambda by 2. We'll call it as equation 1. L1 minus L is also equal to small l1 plus 0.3D minus into bracket L plus, that is small l plus 0.3D. If you solve the bracket, this will become, both the terms will become negative. So solving this, will get L1 minus L, that is capital L1 minus capital L is equal to small l1 minus small l, as 0.3D gets cancelled here. We'll call it as equation number 2. From equation 1 and 2, we can see that the LHS are same. So we can equate the RHS. So we get lambda by 2 is equal to small l1 minus small l. Therefore, lambda is equal to 2 times into bracket small l1 minus l. So these lengths small l and l1 can be measured with the help of a scale. So V, that is the speed of sound, is equal to n lambda, which is equal to twice n into L1 minus L. So we can see here in this formula, there is no need of end correction. So this is how the end correction can be eliminated. So finally, we have finished with all the discussion about modes of vibrations of air column in a pipe closed at one end and in a pipe open at both the ends. Thank you.